Well, welcome back to another edition of the Conspiracy Keepers. My name is Backlash. I'm joined with our two chairs, Scooter McGee and Joe Monaco. Happy
How you guys
Wednesday.
doing? Very good. Very
It is
good.
Wednesday, December 16th, and I figured
Mhm.
since Scooter and I have the usual bet, Randolph,
$1.
$1, I took Biden, he took Trump, and looks like good old Mitch McConnell finally ponied up and said, "Yep, we're going to welcome Joe Biden, and everybody else should toe the line." And I know we were talking off camera, and I want to hear your thoughts on Mitch.
Go ahead, Scooter. I liked what the angle
Okay.
that you were coming from. Go ahead.
Okay, fair enough. But before that, so new listeners, we were also talking about, we make so many references that people may not know what we're talking about. Backlash and I, along with Joe Lanier and several other friends, are one of the great movies with so many great lines was, of course, Trading Places, Eddie Murphy and Dan Aykroyd.
Correct.
But the other great pairing was Ralph Bellamy and Don Amici as the two old men. And with all of their millions, they never said really how many millions of dollars they had, but obnoxiously wealthy. And at the Christmas bonus was like $5, and that was from both of them. And they ruined a life, whether black or white, doesn't matter. Hey, the fact that we like Trading Places, does that make us racist? But the usual bet, Randolph, the usual bet, Mortimer, $1. So
Well, the thing is, they have predictive programming in these movies. That's not an accident. That's really kind of the way the world works. With those two old guys that would ruin it, just for $1 as they bet among each other. I'll be willing to bet you that among the power elite, when they first suggested that everybody wear masks, I'll bet you they had a bet. Oh man, I'll bet they won't go along with that. The other Illuminati controller said, I'll bet they will. How much you want to bet? Well, you know what? They went along with it. So they tell you what's going to happen in a lot of these movies.
So having said that, off camera or off mic, we were talking about, the wake of the Electoral College decision, which I pointed out, the Electoral College casting their ballots, but the Electoral College is yet to be certified. The Electoral College represents the states of which what was the vote. Well, if the vote is suspect, so are still the Electoral College votes. And Mitch McConnell coming out of the White House, well, give a little space for Republicans coming out. Mitch McConnell has, and I said off mic, I'll say it on mic, Mitch McConnell is a career Chinese puppet. Mitch McConnell has made far more money from the Chinese than he ever did as a U.S. senator or any U.S. enterprise he was involved in, or any of these obnoxious speaking fees that the banks give these politicians. And we went from 2016, that election being rampant with fraud, Russian collusion, and all of this nonsense, to 2020, the safest, no collusion, get over it. But moments after the vote, out comes Joe Biden, president-elect, with this speech. And this is what I said off mic. He was gloating. He was verbose beyond, considering it's Joe Biden, but gloating and then threatening your opposition at the same time, while out one side of his mouth talking about unity coming together and the most votes I ever got, so na. He got 16 plus million votes more than Barack Obama got. So
and I watched that
still
speech.
don't think this is over yet.
I got I don't see him
now,
gloating.
in the meantime, before I go to the labor camp, Backlash, you and I can set up a dead drop and I'll leave the dollar. The system is still saying Biden is president, but it ain't January 20th. I'm not a racist. I'm not a homophobe. And I don't care if you're thin or fat, but it ain't over till the fat lady sings.
Well, thankfully you were kind of garbly through that, but hey, I actually watched the speech, and I for one did not see him anywhere near what Trump has done in the past. as far as gloating. Now, if that was gloating, I'd take that over what Trump does any day. Just my own personal belief, personal opinion. But
Yeah, we'll keep it. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, now that we're down to the electoral college, do you want to place double or nothing? I'm down for $2.
I still am committed to it isn't over yet. The Electoral College vote isn't certified till January. Again, Kamala, interesting sidebar we talked about last week. Kamala Harris is still yet to step down from her seat in California. And the newspapers are already saying Kamala needs a bigger job. But the vice president doesn't do anything. The vice president goes to funerals and they sit as the tying vote in the Senate. That's what the vice president does. That's what they've always done. Kamala needs a bigger role, and she's about to get one. If Joe Biden's first speech has him out, I'm a 35-year career smoker, and I don't sound like that.
Well, I will say this: it wouldn't make any sense for him.
Backlash's question: do I want to double down? I still stand by that. I believe so. Put your money where your mouth is. Yes, $2.
Okay.
It might not very well be over, and because like we were talking about earlier on the last show, all the things that they've told us tell us that Trump is going to be the one that they put in there. Now, we've known that they've changed their minds sometimes in the past. We know they've gone a different direction, but there's just no area where they've gone to where they've told us with their predictive programming in the past, a Joe Biden presidency. It just doesn't work. So, it might not be over. It seems like it is, but, they might be doing that intentionally as well.
To get the other 75 million up in arms.
It could be. Yeah, it could be. They could just be building this thing kind of like a soap opera because it just doesn't make any sense.
There is a political strategy possible also regarding a dispute with the Electoral College versus the popular vote in which it goes, quote, to the states. That's not a vote by the states. That would be a vote by, the Congress. Oops.
Yeah.
And in that scenario, guess who becomes president, Backlash?
Well, considering the Democrats run the House, they probably won't let it get past it.
Chain of command. Who's third in line to success? If the president and the vice president can't fulfill their duties, who's third in line?
Speaker of the House.
Bingo. Bingo. Nancy Pelosi, there is one of, and we're talking dozens of scenarios. There is a scenario that would allow Speaker Pelosi to become the president of the United States, which is why suddenly idiots, I'll say idiot, like AOC, don't call me that. Well, then don't have a website dedicated to selling worthless crap. AOC, who's still a freshman in the House of Representatives. I don't want to be Speaker of the House. You're not eligible to be Speaker of the House. You don't care if you want it or not. But this proactive of, I don't want the job. I don't want the job. I don't want the job. Oh, I got the job. I'm so flattered. Pete Buttigieg, I'm sorry, the mayor of South Bend, Indiana is now our transportation secretary. How alleged? He's appointed. He has to be approved by the Senate. Yada, yada. Okay, yeah. Oh, boy. Our potholes, they're going to get taken care of now, aren't they? Let's see. I need a gay Midwesterner to throw on my cab. Hey, Pete Buttigieg, congratulations. Backlash, we used to joke about Bobo the chimp. I have not seen Bobo in years. And for all I know, he was kidnapped by the Democrats, and he's picking the promotions.
For those that don't know, it's the old monkey with the cymbals, and they wind him up and he'd clang, but he was also just spinning the wheel and throwing feces at it, and whatever stuck is where they went. And those, for everybody that's listening, just so you know, I was Googling and I just put Mitch McConnell China on the very first thing, China Mitch. McConnell has family ties to the Bank of China.
And China and all the Asian countries are run by the Li family. One of the controllers of the 12 families that basically control everything. So keep in mind, they want to keep the scenario or the illusion of every nation's being separate as they try to pull them all together. This whole kind of concept of the Cold War or China doing this and Russia doing that, that's all distraction because all those countries are controlled by the same families. Okay, so keep that in mind when we think about, we've got problems with China, we got problems with Russia, we got problems here and there. No. They're all controlled by the same people. As a matter of fact, I think we've said this one time before, but it's worth reiterating again. Every significant event in your lifetime, it goes actually further back than that, but just for the sake of argument, in your lifetime, every significant event, whether it be the Kennedy assassination, 9/11, this whole thing we've got going on right now, every significant event that has got the world in upheaval have been carried out by the same people.
And now I'm digging deeper into the friggin' rabbit hole, you guys. So the very second one is a campaign ad from Amy McGrath talking about McConnell again. I did not know that he died, or he married in 1993 Elaine Chao, now the Secretary of Transportation.
He's got his own yum yum.
And got a gift from a filer's relative valued at $5 million to $25 million.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, they keep it in the family. That's what they do. That would make sense.
Ugh. Guys, you're killing me today.
Again, when we were talking off before the cameras started rolling, that's why I said and I didn't bring up Mitch McConnell. I forgot which one of you guys did about, and I said, hey, wait a minute, you know this too, because the whole thing right now is when the Democrats have a scandal, they target very specifically. Right now it's Seawall and Yam Yam Ling Ling Sing, whatever her name is, the honeypot, the Chinese girlfriend that turned out to be a spy. Well, that's no different than Dianne Feinstein. Joe, correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't it her chauffeur or one of her close personal assistants for years, was a Chinese spy?
Yeah.
The Chinese are on record speaking back to their elite in China, how that they have insiders that they've been working with for decades. And decades is the swamp. I brought up Buttigieg as transportation secretary, but 12 of the first 16, just Freudian slip, 12 of the first 16 Obama appointees are all Obama administration officials. Here comes the swamp again. And like Joe says, and they're just, their names can change, but they're still being controlled at a higher level by those same multi-generational, intergenerational names.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And that's why, if you think about Barack Obama, you think about where he came from before he got to be the president. Nobody had heard of him. Nobody had heard of this guy. Where the heck did he just came out of nowhere? People don't get in those kind of positions unless they're very connected with somebody with a lot of power that put them there. So Obama was put there, and he was put there for a reason, because he's one of them. He's always been one of them. As a matter of fact, some of his heritage goes back to black nobility. So it's a generational thing, that they're all related to each other.
And how were we able to discern that Obama was going to be anointed? They locked the press on the plane. That was Gibbs when he was secretary for the president-elect campaign. They locked him on the plane. Obama got off and they shuttled him over to Chantilly, Virginia to attend the Bilderberg meeting. They snuck him back out. Well, he wanted to have a meeting tonight with some private people. We wanted it private, so we just kidnapped all of you. It's okay. You're not going to report that, because if you want any access in the future, you're going to keep your mouth shut.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. And you got to watch the signs and symbols around these people. You got to really kind of watch what's going on around him. When Obama was doing his speech shortly after he got into the presidency from Mile High Stadium with the white horse, he associated with the white horse of Revelation. That was not an accident. They did that intentionally.
That was the Broncos horse. Come on.
Yeah, right. Well, yeah.
And Joe,
technically it is, but that's the symbol, signs and symbols they wanted. They wanted that white horse in Revelation as kind of a backdrop to this whole thing. That was done intentionally.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Backlash. Google it. Wasn't that speech election election night
Yeah,
from Denver, Colorado.
from Denver, Colorado. That's right.
What is it now? Snowflake Stadium? What are they calling it?
Yeah, yeah. What are they calling it now? It's something at Mile High, is it?
No, it's Empower Field.
Okay, that's right. Empower Field. That's right. That's right. That's right.
On the field, they might as well just call it Snowflake Stadium, and
Yeah,
everyone
right.
gets a trophy, and we're all winners, aren't we?
Well, that was at the Democratic National Convention, though.
How come the season ticket holders? Oh, so was the Democratic National Convention not election night?
Right.
Was it election night? Okay. Okay. I was thinking it was election night. Okay. Okay. Still, one way or the other, it's one of their signs and symbols. They wanted that white horse in the background. And just getting back to Trump, just real quickly, that's the same thing that they wanted with him. That's why I was always saying that they were kind of telling us that Trump would be the last president. You got, the last trumpet of the Bible, Trump, and then you got Pence, Trump, Pence. And so those are not accidents. They do this kind of thing on purpose. Now, that doesn't mean the United States it's going to be the end of the world. Trump will be the last president before it's formally established as America being part of the New World Order. Is so probably what they meant by that.
So we want to call it what? Harris Kamala Holla?
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. That makes that doesn't make any sense. It only a Trump presidency makes sense. Now, unless they've gone a different direction, which they may have done, it just doesn't make any sense. So I kind of agree with you, Scooter, that it's not quite over yet. They might pull something out of their sleeve because that would make sense.
I'll take $2 from both of you. I'm not ashamed, and I have no problem paying $2.
Okay, that's fair.
Backlash. Let's not forget. So in the wake now of YouTube censoring everything and all of that, all of the allegations of voter fraud in the 2016 election, all of those videos can stay on YouTube. But if we talk about it's 2020. Facebook won't allow you on YouTube and Twitter. They censor that now. And it's funny, it's been 5 weeks. It's time, 6 weeks. It's time to move on. Well, there was an entire group of the media and the Democrats and the pundits that for 3 nauseating years, all the way up to the first debate, were still bringing up 2016.
Right.
And who knows, just like a lot of the things that are coming out that are unclassified, we're going to have to wait, 20 years?
Yeah, if ever. Yeah, exactly.
So,
right.
Scooter, you and I will be here.
President Trump promised to release the Kennedy files, the JFK files. Still hasn't happened. And that is extended to keep those sealed. President Trump ran promising, when I get in there, here's the paperwork. I'm out. No UFO. We got UFO disclosure from other countries, but not us. But the Kennedy files was particular. That Trump, for not decades, but for at least 2 of them, from the 90s through the 2000s, was not silent about his questions regarding the Kennedy assassination of Jack at Dealey Plaza 63 versus Bobby at the Ambassador in
Los Angeles.
Was that LA or San Francisco?
That was in Los Angeles.
No, that was
it was in LA.
Angeles. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Snowden and Assange, this nonsense. I know WikiLeaks was a point of interest for Trump when he was running for president, but to not give them full pardons. And yet if Trump really is out, then that's exactly what he's doing the night before. He's going to be releasing more. He's going to pull every troop home. He's going to do all of this only to show the cards of the Democratic Party how sinister and evil they are. And last point, NDAA 2020, this whole thing about Section 230, that's smoke and mirrors. What's in NDAA 2020 that if America found this out, before the election, the president at will can send troops anywhere in the world with a phone call. Gentlemen, can we agree on that?
Yeah, but he would have to. He would still have to have an okay from his higher ups. But yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
The president right now has the authority to bring the troops home. NDAA 2020 cuts that off now. You need Congress to decide whether or not the troops can come home. Well, since we know that war is a never-ending profit machine and that they want ongoing war, you're now going to say to the members of the Senate and to the Congress that you have to decide when our troops come home? That's a load of malarkey. If the president overnight is going to send 50 troops that turns into 5,000 troops, and that's what it is, and the president says, we're done, come on home. Congress can't have another little, no, it's not politically expedient. You can't do that. And when did Democrats become warmongers? What happened since 9/11?
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. But it's still important for people to know that U.S. presidents take orders. They don't give orders. They're not the top of the food chain. I think people still think that they're so focused on this presidency, and it's like they're way lower on the food chain. They take orders from the international bankers. So yeah, you're exactly right. And FEMA, what we have going on right now.
Well, hopefully we can talk about that in the next segment. I really want to get into the signs, symbols,
Okay.
and especially the Bilderbergs.
Okay.
It'll be really good. I'm not sure if that works well with you guys, but
Let's
we
do
will
it.
be back with the next segment of the Conspiracy Keepers in just a few minutes.